Okay, so welcome to the HB engines. Think I'm going to be shooting two separate videos tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and start with dropping pistons and rods in this fucking B16. Then I'm going to mount Ariel's LSV and get to starting to tear down. Yep, I'm gonna do this one first though, because I've been meaning to do it for a million years, and I think that tonight's just gonna be tear down. I'm tired. It's late. I was debating on not even coming at all. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get started now. I'm gonna start tearing down, or not, I'm not gonna start putting together the B16. Alrighty. Here at halftime. I'm not gonna do no money shot today. Just for expedience sake, I'm just gonna get him in there as quick as possible and torque him down. So some of you guys that watched my earlier videos know that I prefer the clamp ring compressor to this one. This one takes a little bit more patience. Actually, it takes a lot more patience. Anyway, it's actually working pretty smooth now. Tonight is the best night I've had with it. I think it's just because I'm a little bit more zoned out in here. I'm just a little bit more chill tonight. That being steady, tapping it in, and it's dropping in pretty quick compared to normal times I have to fight with it a little bit. So I'm gonna say that's an over-the-counter auto part tool compared to my old Snap-on one I have. I'm giving it a little better review now. I'm gonna say that it's not so bad of a fucking tool after all, even though I've said before I prefer to use the clamps. And I think that opinion still holds. I prefer to use my clamp. But as long as you're slow and steady and patient with that one, it works just as fine and just as quick. If not even a little bit quicker, to be honest. Yeah. I lied. Boom! Money shot. Okay, so I've always kind of been on the fence on this whole block guard thing. I think I'm going to weigh in on it tonight and make my decision to say that I will probably never do one again or use a block with a block guard again. I might, if I do build one, I'll build it and sell. Although the place where I'm going to now, the chance of me running into something like that are fucking slim to none. So my chances are I probably won't see it for years to come, or see one again for years to come. Alright, so the reason being is, look, this right here, right? Smooth, beautiful, gliding crank rotation. Right? It's good. It's excellent. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Or at least this is exactly the way to make me feel comfortable. Nice and smooth, little resistance. Now, so far, I've built two blocks with block guards. My B20V that I have at home, and this one. Now, my B20V runs fine. I mean, like, you guys have followed it along. You heard it run a million times. It's fine. It's a solid engine. But during the build process, when I first finished it, you know, I always rotate against the way the belt runs, just because of the fact that the crank bolt, isn't like super tight, and I don't want to super tighten it until I have everything assembled. So it wasn't super tight, so I usually I walk it backwards, make sure we're good. Now, when I was building my B20V, I put two pistons and rods, and I spun it. It was fine. Then I put the last two in, spun it, and I was like, crankety crank, stuck, and it just wouldn't fucking budge, no matter how much I put into it. So I freaked out. I was kind of pissed off at the time because I'd had a couple of dud B16s. So I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I go to build an engine again. I got fucking problems. I'm gonna have to junk this block. But I calmed down, took a breather, went away, had a drink, came back, reversed the fucking ratchet, and I started walking it the other way, the proper way. And sure enough, it jimmied loose and it came down no problem. So just to be sure, you know, I rotated it back the other way and again rotated, and I didn't have any issue. But of course, me being a fucking scary perfectionist, I did it a whole bunch of times. Left the way to come back, and then sometimes going one direction, I would snag, and sometimes I'd come back to bring it, and the crank bolt would break loose because it snagged. Now, the whole time putting the engine together, I said, fuck it, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna push through with it. I'm gonna fucking assemble it. I timed it, and you know, and then setting the timing was a little bit of a fucking pain in the ass. So I was rotating, and you know, it snagged. But I be patient and fucking went through with it, and eventually got it timed. And so moment of truth came when I ran the fucking car. So I ran the car, had the first time turn on, and it was fine. So after I turned it off, I got up under the car and put a fucking extension on there, and I cranked it. Smooth as fuck both ways, no stick. Oh, of course I was very relieved, very happy. Turns out that I guess I just needed to get it under power, under motion to get it to rotate. But personally, still, I feel it shouldn't be that way. And now, recently, I go to put this thing together, and the same thing happened. Well, not the same thing, because the B20 completely, you know, locked up in that one spot. I had to wiggle it back. This one didn't lock up, but it's difficult to rotate, and you know, usually around top dead center. And so I think the obvious thing is that these fucking block guards are getting hammered into the top of the fucking cylinder walls, or you know, and then I think it's slightly distorting it, a little X-shape. And even if you get a Golden Eagle block guard, Golden Eagle doesn't recommend, but it tells you you may possibly need to overbore once installed because it can cause distortions. So personally, for comfort's sake, just because of the fact that I'm never going to build like a fucking balls out, like high horsepower, super 500 plus engine, I'm only going to keep it below 500 just because I'm a pump gas guy. So I think that I can't justify having the block guard there to begin with, because these B-series blocks generally handle around 400 and change, or high 400s without needing to be sleeved or CSS, for you guys to know about it. For you guys that don't know about the CSS, I'm going to leave a link in it today. Also, my normal site that I use for B-series torque specs in the fast lane doesn't have the ARP rod bolt torque specs, so I'm going to show you the site for that, and it's based off of the number stamping on the rod bolt and thread pitch size and all that shit. You'll see on the website. If you have any questions about that, you know, hit me up. But anyway, so I'm just going to rule out block guards. I don't think I feel comfortable fucking with them. I don't care if it does run in the car fine. I'm just for the peace of mind when I'm rotating at the end of the day, I know that it's smooth and there's no distortion of the cylinders at all. Okay, that's it. So I almost fucking forgot that I'm doing two separate videos. So that's I gotta sign out this one. I will say thanks for watching, and I'll give you an update on what happened with the B16 later on. Peace.